The E3 dust has settled, and for me, Sony didn't just win this E3, but really put a stamp out there for their intentions going forward for this generation and beyond. I will let you know why.
I'll take that.
Here in the valley.
Oh, crap!
Sony's conference, presentation-wise, hit all the right notes. Literally, that orchestra was amazing throughout the conference. There wasn't even 5 minutes of talking, but just game after game. No introduction needed. They really did let the games do the talking. Not only that, but the amount of first-party games was so dominant. I've never seen anything like it. Straight off, they start with 5 AAA exclusives for the PlayStation 4 before leading into VR, which again they show PlayStation VR exclusive experiences, all being very impressive. Rocksteady making an exclusive VR Arkham game. Resident Evil 7 completely played from start to finish with VR next year. A few new games such as Farpoint was shown, which looked intriguing. The ending of conference showed a new PS4 exclusive Spider-Man game by Sony Games, the creator of Ratchet & Clank, Hideo Kojima's new title Death Stranding, and a Days Gone gameplay demo. And did I mention Crash Bandicoot Remastered, all in under an hour and a half. They showed their intentions for the years to come, now showing PS VR should be taken seriously, and every single exclusive they showed looked top notch. When Days Gone is looking like the weakest thing and it still trumps so many games shown at this E3, you know Sony are doing something right with their first party studios. Now, I'm not here just to go about how great Sony are, but just to have a discussion on why their conference was just so much better than everything else. Microsoft had a good conference. They showed good games, new hardware, which personally wasn't my thing, but definitely overall had a good showing. So did Ubisoft personally for me, but Bethesda and EA lacking behind for sure. My problem with Microsoft's especially was their exclusive, as there was nothing new. Games like Dead Rising 4, which has a year exclusive, and Gears of War 4 are just regurgitated products very similar to their predecessors left in last generation, to what third-person games are doing right now. Gears looked, even with its great atmosphere and premise, combat-wise looked so generic with no innovation, and I just can't get excited for it. I'm not really fussed about the Windows 10 Xbox One thing. It makes it great for me that I can play these games on my PC and I don't need an Xbox system, so these games do appeal to me a lot more, but I still just don't find them as gripping as what Sony can always deliver. The rest has been shown many times before. Scalebound was announced 3 E3s ago now, and no Crackdown in sight either. These games just have 2017 release dates, and I'm sure they'll be in the second half of that year, meaning there would have been 4 E3s since their announcement and their fully release, which is just insane to think about. Recall, after looking at some gameplay, probably is the most intriguing to me. It looks pretty simple graphically. I can definitely see why they didn't show gameplay of it now, as it definitely looks underwhelming in that factor. But overall, the gameplay and the systems, and it's a nice platformer, not being a full price game, does intrigue me, and I think that's something I will purchase down the line for sure. I just feel Microsoft has stopped pushing their devs rather than playing it safe, and they've gone for quantity over quality to try and get as many games out within the full period, and in the long run they may not work out once some of Sony's big hitters become available. The hardware side, I am actually surprised how early Scorpio was announced with the holiday 2017 date released. But I will make judgments once hearing even more, even though the message always seems foggy about if it's always 4K, if it's not, how much choice the developers have, and I'm sure I will make a video on that down the line once we really get some information and we don't start speculating anymore. But back to the topic. Sony seems just to know what we want and delivers it. They aren't letting hold of the lead they have and keep providing. Now, the main concern for many people is the fact that none of these actually got release dates for those first party games. Of course, I have no doubt a few will release next year, but after Uncharted and Horizon, I doubt they just don't want to delay these games and disappoint the fans. I'm sure they know the stat of how this affects views and actual money and marketing material. It makes me more excited leading up to Paris Games Week and Place the Experience, when we'll hear more about these titles, and I'm sure release dates and windows will be announced then when they are a lot more concrete. Overall, this E3 pretty much disappointed me. Sony actually got me excited for gaming again when so many didn't. This year seems to have some great games coming out, and already early next year it's shaping up to be another year. This generation is definitely starting to get into its stride, finally about 2.5 years into it. I may cover this and E3 more later after the weekend, but for now guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and a little coverage of my opinions of E3, and see you next time.